I think we all stand united when we say Oleksandr Usyk is the best heavyweight right now. He hasn't just dominated, he hasn't just beaten, he's totally eclipsed the whole entire division. And I'm going to give you 10 reasons for why he has, 10 principles, 10 biblical principles that Oleksandr Usyk stands by that has made him a champion. Now, this isn't from muscle, this is from scripture. Now, the first is this, Proverbs. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge. And in boxing, discipline is the fundamental thing, it's the principal thing. If you haven't got discipline, you cannot be a boxer, because discipline is going to shape the way you eat, the way you train, the way you focus, your mindset, everything. It's not even just about your preparation, it's actually about whilst you fight. We see Oleksandr Usyk is in there with Anthony Joshua. We see him in there with Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois hit him with that really big body shot in the first football. It was a low blow body shot, whatever you believe it was. And he hurt him badly. He had to stay disciplined on his game plan. You think when he's in there with someone like Anthony Joshua, an Olympic gold medalist, do you think that he's not staying disciplined to the game plan? Do you think he just beats him because he's better than him? No, he stays disciplined. When he fights someone like Tyson Fury, who is way bigger than him, probably a lot more physical than him, and is highly skilled, how did he keep the pressure on him? How did he stay close to him? He goes close to him via discipline. But what do I always say? Boxing isn't just this, boxing is this. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge. You need to have high ring IQ. You see the way that Usyk boxed Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua is a lot bigger than him, but he's also a lot stronger than him. So he stayed on the outside. He stayed on the outside trying to lure AJ towards him. And when AJ did fall for that trap and step towards him, he timed the counter-attack and struck him. But against Tyson Fury, because he has knowledge, because he has ring craft, because he has ring generalship, he understood that Tyson Fury doesn't punch as hard as AJ does. So it was okay for him to come forward towards the bigger fighter, moving his head. Two opponents who seem very similar in physical qualities, but Usyk used knowledge and discipline to implement a different game plan against both. Number 2, we've got Hebrews. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, with evidence not yet seen. Now, that pretty much just sums up the whole of boxing. And when Oleksandr Usyk, he dominated the cruiserweight division, he had faith that he could dominate the heavyweight division. But things hadn't taken motion yet. So because things hadn't taken motion, he had to just believe it. He couldn't say, when he stepped up the heavyweight and he beat Derek Chisora in a really tough fight, you know what, that gave him a bit more hope, a bit more faith, because he can say, you know, I stepped up and I beat this level heavyweight. He's not the best, but if I can beat this one, why can't I beat the next level? He had faith, he trained, he engineered his body and his mindset to grow stronger in hope that he will be able to achieve those goals. Faith is really big, it's really important, and that's at every level in boxing. You have to have faith that you can achieve it before you do so. You don't, like Muhammad Ali said this. Muhammad Ali said, I said I was the greatest before I knew I was. And what he meant is that he had faith that he would be the greatest. So we said it, he projected out there. He summoned his future self to the universe, and then he chased and went to go get it. Faith is very important, and that's a big thing for Oleksandr Usyk. I would believe that he has inspirations and he aspires to achieve them. The thing about faith, though, is that, again, it's not just on the outside of the ring. It's actually whilst you're boxing. You might be in that ring and you're boxing, and you get hit with a really good shot, and that might hit you flush and your head might be spinning. You have faith whilst you're in the ring that this time will pass. This is just the season. This season will then pass, and I will begin to dominate my opponent again, and I will win the fight. So faith is something that's gonna structure. It's going to change the way you live your life, because you're going to live your life in order for and what you hope for to come true, because you have faith. But also, on a smaller scale, when you're actually in the ring, you still have faith as you box, because every move you throw might not work out. You might have planned a certain sequence, and when you try that sequence, it doesn't work. But you have to have faith. Okay, it didn't work now. Let me try again. Let me reset myself and try again. So faith is a big one. Let us run with endurance the race set upon us. We've got Hebrews again. Now, champions are built in endurance. Now, when you see a lot of these champions on the TV, in your head you assume that they were just born with a silver spoon in their mouth and they're just sitting up there chilling. But no, that's so far from the truth. Champions, real champions like Oleksandr Usyk, that you see that just flawlessly have victory after victory after victory, was built in fatigue. And now he has got the endurance mentally, physically and spiritually. We've heard Usyk say that how prayer is very important to him, how his faith is very important to him, how he prays multiple times a day, and that keeps his mind focused. That's going to strengthen yourself mentally and spiritually, but also there's a physical aspect to this. When you're praying, when you're training, when you're following a regimen that's planned every single day, it's going to build up all three aspects of you, all together, all equally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So when you're in that boxing ring and you're getting tired, it's not really a thing. It's not a full process. All you know is to endure. All you know is to persist. All you know is to keep moving forward. So it's all gonna come together. I'm sorry, I don't know. I feel like I'm not really being clear, but I hope I am, and you're understanding what I'm saying about endurance. So it's all aspects come together: spiritual, mental, and physical. They all work together. They all come together. You're going to embody all things, but it starts off through prayer. It starts off with the mind, and then the body will follow suit. When you break down his actual boxing, like you see him in there against AJ, and I was watching Oleksandr Usyk versus AJ in the second fight, and Oleksandr Usyk honestly boxed really well, and so did AJ. But it's even just a constant shifting of weights on the outside. Once AJ steps in, he comes in straight away with a counter punch, and the endurance that it takes to consistently do that throughout the fight, every 12 rounds without missing a single beat almost, is tremendous. So it comes from the mind, it comes from the heart, it comes from his faith. Humble yourselves before the Lord and he will lift you up. Now, as I've stated, we all know that Usyk is an Orthodox Christian and his faith is the most important thing to him. He said boxing is good, but the Lord is great. Like, boxing isn't the main thing in his life. Being a Christian is. Jesus Christ is the main thing in Usyk's life. That humility will benefit you in different ways. Now, when you walk with no arrogance, you're a humble person. There's no, how do I say this? There's no pressure from external sources, because you're able to really commit your whole self on the task and able to concentrate and focus wholly on that task. You haven't got to worry about these different silly things you said or any other silly things, because you've been humble. And when you are humble, you can fully focus, and the Lord will be able to push you that little bit extra to cross that line. But yeah, on humility, when it comes to boxing and being a champion, I think it's a thing where a lot of boxers, in my opinion, don't realize how much focus it takes to be a champion. So when you see fighters like Floyd Mayweather and he's talking all that gimmick and he's throwing cash at the camera, but look at Floyd Mayweather in his first 10 to 12 years as a professional, when he's already won more titles, and he's just, after every fight, he's just so humble and he sounds like a little child, and he's like, God is great, and he just sounds really humble. When Floyd Mayweather became arrogant and started talking out to get more media attention, Floyd Mayweather had been the champion for almost a decade. So what you have to understand is that it was normal to him. It was easy to him to stay focused. Floyd Mayweather's uncle said, Floyd Mayweather knows nothing else about boxing. That's all he's done his whole life. So it's different. We're in a different situation completely sometimes when you look at someone like Floyd Mayweather. But being humble allows you to truly just focus on your task. And that's why 9 out of 10 boxers need to really just be humble and focus. There's not many Muhammad Ali's, not many Floyd Mayweathers, and that's the reason why they're special. Don't look towards them because they're the exception of the rule. Not because of, in spite of them not being portrayed as humble, they had success. But for you, you're gonna need to be humble. For God gives us a spirit of power, love, and sound mind. So what does that sound mind do? That sound mind, that's the book of Timothy. But what does that sound mind do? That sound mind makes us never fight with emotion. We're not in our emotions. We're fighting with logic, fighting with reason. We're training with reason. We're strategizing with tactics with reason. No, we're not emotional. And that's very, very, very important when it comes to boxing. You have to not see red at all. Your mind has to always be clear. Having a sound mind in boxing can make you win such a basic fight or lose such a basic fight. Let alone talking about being a heavyweight champion of the world. You need to have a sound and clear mind. So all of these principles, these are principles that I'm saying for why Oleksandr Usyk has managed to dominate the division. But even you, in your amateur boxing career, in your early pro fights, these are principles that you can take and you can use to progress, to move forward. Even if you're not even a boxer, just in your normal, usual, everyday life. Life is a fight. So the same way I'm saying that Oleksandr Usyk used this to win his fights, you can use these principles to win your fights. So having a sound mind is a principle that can definitely be transferable to anything else you're doing. For by wise guidance you wage war. Now that's Proverbs. Ring IQ. Now we're looking back at ring IQ. By wise guidance. Wise guidance. Now that's very important. I know this is about Usyk, but we're going to go back to Mayweather. Mayweather says there's no blueprint in how to beat Floyd Mayweather. Just as there's no blueprint on how to beat Usyk. And that's what Usyk boxes with strategy, with ring IQ, with intellect. By wise strategy. That's not just like what I said about how Usyk beat Fury and how Usyk beat AJ. Now the fundamental, the subtle difference in both of those boxers is that AJ can crack. AJ can really whack. And Tyson Fury hasn't proven to be as heavy-handed as AJ is. But they're both big guys, 6'7" guys, massive guys. So compared to Oleksandr Usyk, they're really big. But what was the key difference is the punch power. And that's why he never pressured forwards against AJ, because AJ will most definitely catch him coming in one of those 12 rounds. So instead, he stayed back and he let AJ try to come towards him. And when AJ did come towards him and he's moving back, he changed up his timing and stepped in and countered him. But against Fury, where he knew he could take the power, he came forward by wise guidance. Now, what that means is that Usyk isn't just going to the gym and training and getting his heart rate low, getting his running times lower, getting his lifts heavier. He's also building up his brain, building up his understanding of the sport. Yeah? So you have to understand the sport. You have to have ring IQ just like Usyk, because that is part of the reason why he's dominated the division. Let us not grow weary of doing good. Now that's Galatians. That's talking about patience. Patience. Now, you got to be patient in life. Oleksandr Usyk said he has to eat so much food every single day to even be a heavyweight. Now, he doesn't like it. He hates it. But he has to be patient and just keep eating and trust that his body would gain size. And I think in his last bout, we saw that he looked way more strong, so much more physical. He had patience from when he first turned heavyweight till now, and now he's up in size. He has patience throughout his training camp that he's gonna. When he beat Tyson Fury, his daughter was 1 year old, and he had never ever seen her. He was in camp from when his daughter was born to her first birthday. He had never seen his daughter. Patience, faith endurance. All those things I'm mentioning. See, we're seeing it. It's coming to life now. We're seeing it now. You have to have patience. And this is on the build-up. This is on the outside of the ring. But also this is on the inside of the ring. We'll see him when he fights different opponents. Like when he's fighting, when he fought Daniel Dubois. He stopped Daniel Dubois, but he had patience because he broke him down systematically. Yeah. He removed his jab. He removed Daniel Dubois' strengths. He negated all of those strengths via different things he was doing. And slowly, but surely, he broke Daniel Dubois down. Yeah, it's a slow process to knock out these big lumps of heavyweights that are highly skilled like Daniel Dubois. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Now, you're going to see Oleksandr Usyk, heavyweight champion of the world, and you're going to think he has zero fear to begin with. But no, it's about controlling the fear. It's about having courage. You still have anxiety. This might happen, that might happen, and that's a fear. Anxiety, these are fears. But you're courageous. You stay focused and you move forward. It's just like when he fought Tyson Fury in the first fight. He had courage. I think he had a broken orbital bone, broken hand, and he kept pressing forward. That is courage. When you're, imagine he's fighting Tyson Fury in the rematch, and he hasn't seen his daughter for 1 whole year, her entire lifespan. Now, he's got courage, he's got faith to keep pushing forward, because courage isn't just in the physical, it's in the emotional, it's in the mental, it's in the spiritual. You're going to feel doubts in all aspects of your life, and you need to be courageous when you feel these doubts, when you feel these fears. These fears, they're not from God, they're from the devil, and you have to be able to persist and move forward regardless of them. And again, being courageous is something that's allowed Oleksandr Usyk to unify and be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But it's something that helps you even in your first boxing bout, even when you're in a job interview, even at your first day at work. Being courageous is something that we all have to learn how to do in all aspects, in all walks of life. A clean heart is a strong heart. You don't want to hold on to any negative emotions that are going to constrain you, that are going to slow you down. Forgiveness is going to free your mind and allow you to flow, allow you to box in ultra instinct and flow states. Now, there's some real science behind that what I've just said to you, which we can go over at another time. But right now, you have to just understand that being pure, almost, being relaxed, being free, being light in your body, light in your mind, light in your spirit, is going to enable you to box fluently. Number 10, do not fight like a man beating the air. Now, that's Corinthians. Usyk fights for faith, for purpose. He's not just out here like some drunken guy in the streets looking for someone who can devour. No, Usyk trains and fights with purpose. He fights with faith. His attack on the heavyweight division is an organized attack on the heavyweight division. So when you're fighting with purpose, when you're fighting with purpose, you're fighting with objectives you're going to complete. You have strategy. You have a vision. You have order in your violence, so to speak. It's not just a random attack. So that's like when you're a boxer, when you have your boxing career, you need to have goals in your career. Okay, this year my goals are set out that I will achieve X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You're not just out here fighting like just on some nonsense. You have to strategize your career. You have to strategize your mind. You have to fight with faith, fight with belief, all of those things. So number 10 is really going to embody so many of these other 10 principles, 10 verses that I've mentioned in this video. Fight with faith, fight with purpose, fight with direction. Strength fades, skill fades, but faith will always endure. So you need to train your mind, train your body, but train your spirit also. You need to train all three of them together. And that's how you're going to be a champion, just like Oleksandr Usyk, whether that's in a boxing ring, whether that's in your job, or whether that is just in your household. If you want to come down to Regal Boxing Gym and train with faith in Forest Gate, London, Regal Boxing Gym, then hit me up in the comments or an Instagram DM, or you can book on our website, regalboxinggym.com.